Hi YuGiOh, this is Phocks from TeamATYP, 1,000 Years of Pain, here with a deck discussion for the Noble Rabbit deck that I've been running. It's a fun deck. It's very simple actually. It's very straightforward, but I think that's the reason why it does so well. Is all the cards combo straight to make it a bigger card overall. I'm going to go over the monsters first, and what they do is I have 2 Rescue Rabbits. Now the reason I'm running 2 Rescue Rabbits is Rescue Rabbit summons your vanillas to your hand, to the field. 2 normal monsters level 4 or lower of the same name. So in order for Noble Rabbit to go off, you have to run vanillas or normal monsters. So I run 3 Noble Knights, hence the name Noble Rabbit, and 2 Elemental Hero Sparkmans to help the Elemental Hero, engine, I guess you can say, that I have in the deck. So you play the Rescue Rabbit, you get either 2 Noble Knights or 2 Sparkmans to the field, and you overlay into a Warrior Exceed, which is usually either Blade Armor or Excalibur. Very simple setup, but it seems to work rather well. That's pretty much the only thing you use the vanillas for, except for the fact that they're both light normal creatures, which comes into play in a minute. The next card I do also helps with the Elemental Hero engine that you have in here, is Elemental Hero alias Neos alias. Level 4 Light Warrior, 1900 attack. He's in here because you can Gemini Spark him to destroy a card, draw, so you plus 1 off of that. Well, technically you even out because you play 2 cards. Yeah, you play a card, destroy a card, destroy your creature, and draw. So yeah, it evens out. 2 for 2. I like that combo. Also, he's an Elemental Hero, so he opens up Miracle Fusion plays. He's a level 4, so he opens up access to your rank 4 warrior, level 4 warriors, or rank 4 warrior exceeds. And since he's a Gemini, he's also considered a light normal monster. So he works with the theme of the deck so far. The reason you have so many light normal monsters in the deck is because you play this Noble Knight Gawan? That's close enough. He's level 4 light, 1900 attack, so he's a good creature just by himself, but his effect is really what you're looking for. His effect says if you control a light normal monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up defense. So he runs like Bubble Man almost, except you don't need no cards in hand. You just have to have a light normal monster. So if you have, let's say, Elemental Hero Sparkman, and then you can special summon him. Overlay, rank 4. Very simple. Next one, your Noble Knight. Have him on the field. Special summon. You can overlay him as well. And then, of course, your final target is your alias Neos. He is a light normal monster, so you can special summon this guy and overlay. Overall, you have 8 targets for this guy to hit. So that's a lot. I mean, when you're only running 15 monsters, 8 out of 15, that's over half your monsters you can target with this guy's effect. So he really helps with the overlay capability of the deck because of that. Since, let's see here, it's 5. Since 11 out of your 15 monsters is a light card that you're going to keep on the field for at least 1 turn. Not always, but they can stay on the field for at least 1 turn. You run Honest. Now, of course, everybody knows Honest is a hand trap. If a light level 4 or lower monster, well, actually, just a light monster is attacked or attacks, you can discard Honest, and the light monster on your side of the field gains attack equal to the card attacking it or the card it is attacking. So if they have a 3,000 creature, you drop this, and you're gonna jump. Your creature gains 3,000 attack. Not only does it work with the Sparkman, with the Toon Vanillas, the Alias, and the other Noble Knight effect, this guy, it also works with Excalibur. And the last extra deck it works with is Elemental Heroes Shining. So you got several targets for this guy. He's really good for the deck. And of course he's a hand trap, and that, of course they're always going to be wondering if you have it in your hand. The last monster I play is mainly for the Elemental Hero engine, is Elemental Hero Stratos. He's a level 4 when he's Wind Warrior, so at least he's level 4 and he's a warrior, so he can go into Blade Armor and into Excalibur. But also his effect is when he's normal or special summoned, you can do one of two things. You can either search your deck for Elemental Heroes, so you're going to search and add Stratos, or you can destroy any number of spells and traps on your opponent's side of the field equal to the number of Elemental Heroes, Destiny Heroes, and Evil Heroes you control, except for him. So if you have Alias, that lasted a turn, and then you normal summon Stratos, you can blow up one card. Usually you go for the search ability to thin out the deck. Overall, he's a great card. That's all my monsters for the deck. They all have very straightforward, simple effects. However, I found out the simplest effects are usually what win you the duels. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the spells. Let's see. I only run 15 monsters, by the way. I run 18 spells in the deck, which is a lot for me. I'm going to go over the ones I don't have to explain first. Is Dark Hole, play it, destroy all monsters in the field. Heavy Storm, play it, all spells and traps destroyed on the field. Monster Reborn, reborn one creature in the graveyard from either your opponent's graveyard or yours. And 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, target one spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. I think those are staples. They're not all the staples, but those are the staples in this deck. The next card, I run 3 Miracle Fusions. Now, just by going on creatures in the main deck alone, you have 6 targets for Miracle Fusion. It's usually a very active, very live card. If you top deck it straight out, you know, it can be kind of hard. If you top deck it whenever you don't have anything, it can save you. It's a great card overall, and since I'm running the Elemental Hero engine for the deck, it works rather well in the deck. To go along with Miracle Fusion, I run 2 Super Polymerizations. Now, Super Polymerization I think it's really good. What it does is very simple. It's discard 1 card, send from either side of the field to the graveyard the fusion material monsters that are listed on a fusion monster card, and special summon that monster from your extra deck. It counts as a fusion summon. Spells, traps, and card effects cannot be activated in response to this card's activation. Now, basically, how that works is you activate Super Polymerization, they can't chain anything to it. It stops the chain. And then after that, you get to send one of your Elemental Heroes on the field and one of their cards on the field to the graveyard. And you get a special summon one of your Elemental Heroes from the deck, from the extra deck. Now, pretty much you're upgrading your card at a cost of discarding a card, but you also destroy one of theirs. So overall, I think it's a great trade-off. So I keep it at 2. Sometimes I'll side out to cap 1, but 2 is overall great. The search engine is 2 emergency calls. You play it to add 1 elemental hero to your hand. Very simple. And 1 reinforcement to the army. You play this to add 1 level 4 or lower warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. Also very simple. Elemental emergency call, you have 6 targets for. Reinforcements, you can target everything except for the 2 rescue rabbits and the honest. So overall, those things can get almost everything in your deck. For draw power, I played 2 pots of duality. Usually you play this whenever you don't have anything to summon or to special summon, or if you're trying to set up for a combo, or even if you have the current field control. Overall, it's a great card, I think. Not the best to do turn 1 with this deck, but overall it's a great card, and it really helps the deck out. Special summoning can hurt. No special summoning can hurt you, but if you play it right, you don't have to worry about that. I play 1 Pot of Avarice. This card is mainly to reload the vanillas back into the deck, so when you do draw a rabbit, you have your vanillas in there for its effect. It really helps that you get to draw 2 cards because of that too. Very few times will you activate Pot of Avarice if you don't have rabbit in your hand already. Because you don't want to risk putting the vanillas back in your deck and then drawing into them again. So overall, it helps the deck out. Now for the final one is I run 2 Gemini Sparks. I like it at 2 because when I had 3 here, I would draw into Gemini Spark whenever I didn't have an alias. I might kick it up to 3, but I like it at 2 so far. And that's all the spells for the deck. I'm going to go on to the traps. I'm going to go over... There's only one trap I should have to explain for the deck, so I'm just going to go through these real fast. 2 bottomless trap holes. Shouldn't have to explain. You don't have to keep their monsters off the field, but it helps set up for OTKs faster if you do. 2 mirror forces, because there are those times that they dark hole and kill all your creatures. There's those times where you face the skill drain deck and you can't get over the 3,000, so that helps. 2 solemn warnings, more creature hate. It just helps keep their big combos off the field and helps you set up for yours. The last trap I think I should have to explain is Hero Blast. Now Hero Blast is a very simple card. When you first activate Hero Blast, it says target 1 elemental hero, normal monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. So if they negate it, you still get to add the card to your hand. And the cards you target are either, like the picture shows, Sparkman, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to add Alias to your hand so you can set up for the Gemini Spark plays. And then destroy 1 face-up monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to the attack's target. So pretty much if you add Alias back to your hand, you get to destroy any creature on the field that has 1900 or less attack. I only got 1 of these for now because I only own 1. If I get a second one, it will go up to 2. But yeah, that's the traps for the deck. Again, very simple, very straightforward, just the way I like the deck. Now, going on to the extra deck. I'll be honest with the side deck. I don't have a proper side deck made for this deck yet, so I'm not going to go over the side deck for this deck. The one I featured was just cards that I threw together that I think would help this deck against the current meta, but I haven't played this deck against current meta enough to know exactly what it needs, if you understand. But anyways, going on to the extra deck. I'm going to go and throw down the elemental heroes you usually go into with super polymerization first. Absolute Zero. You run 1 of him in the extra deck because of super polymerization, but also when he leaves the field, he blows up. He's a Regeki, destroys all your opponent's creatures. 1 Great Tornado. You can go into this guy with Miracle Fusion, but you normally don't want to. He's great for super polymerization. When he is normal summoned, you have all your opponent's creatures' attacks. So he's a good card overall too. 1 Nova Master. Now Nova Master is a fire and elemental hero, super polymerization like the other ones are so far. But when he destroys a card, you get to draw a card. So he's constantly plussing as long as he stays on the field. 1 Iscario, a Dark, and an Elemental Hero. I don't like his effect overall. It's he gains 100 attack for each Elemental Hero in the graveyard. However, I do like the fact that he's a Dark, and Dark is very heavily played with tour guides in recent meta. So he's almost always live. Elemental Hero Gaia. I don't like his effect either. I mean, it's alright for the first turn. Must be fusion summoned, blah, blah, blah. When this card is fusion summoned, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. So your opponent has to have a monster in order for this effect to go off. And it says, until the end phase, its attack is halved. And this card gains attack the same amount to the attack creature. So, say I were to Super Poly on my turn. When I normal summon this guy, I select a card. This card gains half of its attack. And that card loses half of that card's attack. If you swing at the card, it's very simple. They lose 22 no matter what, unless they stop it. So I don't understand why people want to go through the entire math. If I gain half of what you have and you go down to half, it's going to leave my normal attack at which is 22 is what I'm going to do as damage. He's there because he's an Earth and a hero. Now on to the stuff that you're actually going to Miracle Fuse for. If you play Miracle Fusion 9 times out of 10, you're going to go into, actually almost 10 times out of 10, you're going to go into Elemental Hero the Shining. He's a light and a hero, which your deck is full of lights. And what he does is when he is destroyed, you can select 2 removed from play Elemental Heroes, which Miracle Fusion removes cards from play, and add them to your hand. He gains 300 attack for every removed Elemental Hero. So if you Miracle Fusion for him and only send 1 Elemental Hero, he's a 2900. If you send 2 Elemental Heroes, he's a 3200. So overall, he's a pretty big beat stick, and he reloads your hand. Now let's go on to the Exceeds. I'm going to go over the Warrior Exceeds first. I run 3 Blade Armor Ninja. The reason I run Blade Armor Ninja is first off, he takes 2 level 4 warriors, so he goes great with most of the deck. But also, his effect is once per turn, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. Target 1 face-up ninja monster you control, which is usually himself, hence Blade Armor Ninja. And this turn, that monster can attack twice. So he has 2200 attack. He can either wipe 2 creatures off the field, or if he attacks directly twice, he is 4400 damage, 4400. So he's a great card to have overall, especially since it's a warrior-based deck. Next, I run 2 Heroic Excaliburs. Heroic Champion Excalibur. Very simple effect. He takes 2 level 4 warriors to make, which is 90% of the deck. He's also a light, so you can use Honest with him if you absolutely must. But his effect is once per turn, you can detach 2 Exceed materials. So both the materials that are on this guy have to go to the graveyard to use this effect. This card's attack becomes double its original attack until your opponent's next end phase. Its original attack is 2000. So this card goes from 2000 to 4000, and it stays that way until your opponent's next end phase. So all through your turn and all through your opponent's turn. And then your next turn, he goes back down to 2000. He is great if you have him attack directly. You want him to hit. That's the whole purpose of this guy, is to attack directly. If you get this guy to attack directly, that's more than half their life points. If they used 1 Solemn Judgment, they're screwed. If they used 2 Solemn Warnings, they're screwed. If they used a Solemn Warning and a Solemn Judgment, they're screwed. Which all those 3 cards are in like 90% of the deck. So if they pay for anything, they're pretty much screwed with this guy. I run 1 generic Exceed, Gem Knight Pearl, just for the simple fact that he's a 2600 level rank 4. I'm thinking about adding in another Heroic Champion, but I'm not sure if I want to add him in yet. He's the guy that negates traps, and every time he negates a trap, he gains 500 attack. I like Pearl though mainly because if I do go against a skill drain deck, he's a 2600 hitter that I can exceed into, which is over the magic number of 24 or 25. Which, if you guys, for those of you who don't know what the magic number is the attack points on that you need for a creature to be considered a boss creature. Since most people are playing mermails in the main deck, they run the Megalo, the big guy, that 2400 guy that you can ditch to special summon. He's 2400. So this guy would go over it. Stardust Dragon, 2500. This guy gets over it. Most cards, unless they're running a dragon deck, are going to have either 24 or 2500 attack. This guy helps get over them. And then the last Exceed I have is Violon Disigma. Disigma is a great card. What Disigma does is very simple. Takes 3 level 4s. Detach 1 material from this card to absorb, just like Relinquish did, one of your opponent's monsters. Then, from then on, he has a Catastrophe effect where if he battles any creature with the same attribute of any of the monsters he has absorbed, he automatically destroys them. I just like it for the fact that they have 2 big creatures out with the same attribute. I can absorb one and destroy the other without even trying. He has 2500 attack, so he's around the magic number of the same way too. I like him. That is the deck discussion. I'm sorry, I apologize that it is rather long, but that is the deck discussion for Noble Rabbit. I think I went over like 90% of the combos. There are a few that I haven't gone over, but those happen when you play and you play against it. You'll learn those. Well, thank you for watching YuGiOh. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. This is Phocks signing off.